All right, thank you all for coming tonight and sharing your evening with us here at the Westford Business Association, our third, believe that one, how? Third annual meeting. Welcome. We'll give each other a round of applause. Over the course of the last 3 years, we have grown quite a lot. We're very pleased to be in a position as an organization where we're growing to the point where we're actually going to change over the leadership of the organization tonight because we have become a steadied organization, which is very pleasing to me personally. Those of you who have known me for a while, you know, my thought behind this organization from the very beginning is that you all will decide what the organization's future is going to be, and it's not going to be the Dan Bush Express. My job was merely to get the boat pushed away from the shore, and that you all would determine what the destination of the Westford Business Association will be. And with that, we're going to bring in some new leadership tonight, and I'm very pleased with the leadership lineup that we have and the folks who are poised to lead and grow this organization over the next couple of years. Sorry to tell you, you're not rid of me yet. There's an automatic landing spot on the board for past president, so that will be part of the future of the Westford Business Association. But all kidding aside, this organization is growing quite substantially and has a place in the Westford business community and in the public at large. And I thank you for the time that you are investing in growing not only your business, but your organization, the Westford Business Association, and making sure that people know the investment and the impact that businesses are making in Westford. So if you are wondering if your voice is needed, it is. If you are wondering if your opinion is valued, it is. And the organization that you are a member of really needs you to share your thoughts about what is going on in Westford and the investments that are being made and the direction of the community, and also making sure that the community values you collectively as a force in this town, which is what the businesses are. And as, again, many of you know, I might be on the nonprofit side of the fence, but our nonprofit and the other nonprofits that are serving this community would not be successful without a successful business in Westford to ask for support. And the business climate that is in Westford, we're very pleased to have the experience that we have had in the partnership with the town of Westford, the Economic Development Committee, and the leadership of the town. And that's one of the things that I think is one of the best and strongest parts about this organization is the continued partnership, where that is an open dialogue and where the town and the business entities here in the community are working together. Like any community, there are places where the relationship can be improved upon, and I think that that's where we collectively have a voice to share and make sure that that the growth in the direction of the community is something that, again, can sustain and grow the business opportunity for the members that are here today and the members that will come in the future. I have the podium for a minute. Let me also ask you, as we are going through a very challenging week, try to keep in mind with the results of the election 2 days ago that not only are our children watching, but our community is watching and the world is watching as well. There are many people who we are friends and relatives with who voted on the opposite side of the ballot. 50% of the country went one way and 50% went the other way. So if you're talking to somebody, it's very likely that the person that you are talking to did not vote the way that you did, and to please try to keep that in a modest conversation, and keep in mind that the transition that is underway right now is the strength of this nation. And thank you all for voting. The business portion of this meeting should last about 10 minutes at most, and then we will hear a presentation from Michael Meaney, who's a friend of ours that actually helped us get going when we were starting as Westford Business Association. And I'll say it so he doesn't have to later. We stole his initials, WBA. Okay. But we searched wide and far for some folks that could be partners with us to help the Westford Business Association get up and going, because this is not the first attempt to start the Westford Business Association, but we wanted this to be the best attempt. And so we were very pleased to have the partnership of the Woburn Business Association and the Chelmsford Business Association to lend us their expertise. And you'll hear a presentation from Mike in just a little bit about their trials and tribulations as they are overnight success 25 years in the making, yes? Right, so I'm looking forward to hearing from Mike. So let me take a nomination from the floor to open the business portion of the meeting. If I can have somebody make a motion.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
And so if folks have received our program, the business portion is very, very small. What we are doing tonight is voting in the new board. The board is in the pamphlet on the left-hand side, as well as the members at large. And before we go to an assent on that, what we would like to do is have the authority from the membership to grow our members at large roster from 12 to 17. 11 to 17. So if you look at the list of folks, you'll see that there are 11 members at large currently, and there are 6 names that are proposed to be added to the list. Our bylaws right now limit us to 17 members total. We would be moving that to 22. The theory behind that change is to have more people involved in the various committees, and essentially the trick of it is we're putting the hook into them. So if they got a meeting that they have to show up to because they have a title, then we think that will help us grow some of our committees out. That does not mean that you are not welcome to participate in some of those committees, and I encourage you to do exactly that. Can I get a motion on the floor, from the floor, to allow us to move from the 11 to the 17 members at large?
So moved.
And a second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. The second portion of the business meeting then is to approve the slate of officers and members at large. And I need a simple nomination there as well. Can someone please move to have the slate of officers and members at large approved? Okay, and a second? And all in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? So it is unanimous. Thank you very much for that. That's the entire business portion of the meeting. I can now close this business portion of the Westford Business Association. And later on, Gary LaValle, our new president, will close the meeting. And he can make whatever remarks which are appropriate. And at this time, I would ask Mike Meaney to please come up and join me to present on the growth of the Woburn Business Association.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me here. 3 years is a really good goal, and congratulations on that effort. The Woburn Business Association, I don't like to correct people, but we're starting our 33rd year this year in January. A little history about Woburn. I'm looking at the sign over here, and that is our symbol. I know I gave Dan all the things, but everybody said to me when I took over the Woburn Business Association back in 2011 was, what the heck is that thing in the middle? And our symbol is the same thing. It's Woburn on the map. If you look at the map of Massachusetts and you break down the counties and the cities inside, Woburn is basically the same thing. So when I'm looking at it, I know what it is. So you did a good job. A little history about Woburn. We have a population of about 42,000 people. We have approximately 3,500 businesses inside Woburn. I was just telling some of the ladies over there earlier, a little fun fact about Woburn is we are the only city in town in the state of Massachusetts that 93 and 128 do go through. We have a big industrial part of our city that is dedicated to the 128 and 93 corridor, which is going to be exploding in the next year or so with the Kraft food plant closing. And the city of Woburn has partnered with a developer to acquire the property. It's about 110 acres right on 93. There's 77 acres in Woburn. There's probably like 12 acres in Stoneham, and there's 13 or 15 or 20 acres in Winchester, which Winchester will never allow any economic development to go in there. So it's basically going to come down to Woburn and Stoneham. We're excited about that. We've taken an initiative in the city of Woburn to pass a lot of things in the past few years, which is called the overlay district, where you have a piece of property that can be developed, and on the bottom floor, it's 3 layers. You have retail, commercial, then you have office space, and then you have residential above it. For a developer to come in and spend that type of money, when you're talking 20, 30, $40 million, and then another 15 or 20 to develop, it makes it worth their while to come in and be a viable partner. So we have 2 big projects like that going on in the city of Woburn, and we're looking very forward to that. A little history about the Woburn Business Association. Because of our location back in the 70s, when Woburn was really taking off, Woburn was a member of the North Suburban Chamber of Commerce, which was very popular back in the 70s and 80s. Chamber of Commerce would take in 5 or 6 communities, towns and cities, and they would get the businesses together, and they would do what they could for the businesses. I don't know if many in the room are familiar with a man named Bill Cummings. He was from Winchester, but he came into Woburn because he had a vision. And Cummings Park in Woburn, when I grew up, was apple farms. He started with 1 building over on Washington Street, and it is what it is today. And it's he's sprinkled all over the city of Woburn. He is the largest taxpayer in the city of Woburn, and he is in Beverly, Peabody. He is all over, and he's a very generous man. But that being said, himself and 4 or 5 other businesses that were in the North Suburban Chamber of Commerce felt that they were not getting their bang for their buck. And one of Mr. Cummings' famous statement was he was just a feather in a turkey, because he had stuff that had to be issued and addressed in Woburn, and the North Suburban Chamber could not help him on his time schedule. So Mr. Cummings and a few other businesses broke off, and they formed the Woburn Business Association. And that's where we are today. At our highest point, we've had 435 members in the Woburn Business Association. Currently, right now, we're down to about 350, 360. We've had over 200 businesses that have been members for over 20 years. There is attrition in businesses. People go out of business, people retire, businesses move. So we keep it around that fluctuating number. My job as the executive director is to basically go to the businesses, keep them happy, and navigate loops within the city government for them to make sure that they have an easy road to go through. Woburn's budget is $138 million a year. About $77 million of that is funded by businesses and taxes on businesses, whether it's the water and sewer tax, it's the commercial property tax, or it's called what they call the business tax, which is not put on homeowners, but it's your property inside your business that is taxed, that you have to fill out every year. So that's something that the homeowners don't have, but they do appreciate us. We do have a great relationship with the city. Like I had told Dan, I met Dan probably 4 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago, when this idea came up about Westford. And he came over and he sat down in my office and we talked and we went through the motions and I gave him every bit of information I could. And then my father was a world of information. And I know Dan had many conversations on the phone with him about other practices. And my father was the executive director of the WBA for 22 years. And when he retired, I had just retired from the Woburn Police Department, and I didn't want to do anything but golf. And they talked me into doing it for about 6 months, and I'm still here, so. My golf game has really suffered. But the future for business is to start where you guys are, in an association like yours to start, in this beautiful complex in this area up here when you come up the Boston Road from 495. It is like a hidden gem for businesses to come into. And to be successful and to stay vibrant in the community is to be active in the community, be active in charities within your community, and to be active into businesses and try to help them out, whether it's making a phone call on somebody's behalf, on a connection that you made in the past, if it's working with the town manager, if it's working with the building commissioner, or the planning board, or a special permits committee, or the conservation committee. That's 90% of what I do, and you do one thing for somebody in the organization, and they will stay, and they'll never forget it. And then the word of mouth spreads, and then you have memberships coming to you. You have members coming to you and saying, I got a member who wants to join. I have a member who wants to join. And that's where it goes. And that's why we have been vibrant for starting our 33rd year. So there is a great future for the Westford Business Association. And I'm very happy to see that the thing is really taken off, and it's where it is today. I was telling Dan earlier that we have come into a situation where I guess I'm considered an older person now, because we have 19 board of directors, and we've formed 9 subcommittees off of our board, and they've taken off in the last year or so, and it's called the Young Professionals. And these are people that are from just getting out of college at 22 or 23 years old, but are under the age 30. So when we have network gatherings, which we have every month, I guess we didn't really light their fire, so they wanted to form their own subcommittee of young professionals. So I'm not invited to any of them, because I'm over 30. But they've been doing it for about 4 or 5 months now, and we've got about 15 or 20 members that we didn't even know were out there that joined the WBA, the Woburn Business Association, because of this young professionals group that meets once a month, because they want to play cornhole, they want to throw darts, they want to drink beers, and they don't want to show up in a suit and tie like when I started the WBA or when my father started, and people come in, there's a turnover rate. So the kids are like, yeah, we love networking, we love doing that, but we want to do this. We want to go over here. So that was a big step for us to go that way. And also, social media, the footprint in social media, and being a presence on social media and keeping everybody updated on what you're doing. That's another aspect of it. And the last aspect that we've seen a great success was we've started another group just for women. It's called the Women of Woburn. They call it WOW. And it's Women of Woburn, but it's basically the women in the association that don't have time to go to a network gathering, or they have obligations at night. They have children, and they have soccer and football and basketball. So they meet once a month for lunch at a different, so we'll put something out on our network, and we'll send it out to the businesses, and they'll say, do you want to host? And they do. And businesses step up, and they host a lunch, the ladies show up, and we've gotten about 15 or 20 members out of that. So that's how you grow your organization, is thinking outside the box. And thinking about how can you make things easier. Like, people can't always make a network gathering in the morning or at night, so the women, they do stuff at lunch. They're professional women, they work, but they have to be home and they can't come out at night. So that is just a way to, think how you're going to keep going if people want to stay into it. If you know a business, if there's something that you can do. I'm standing here as starting our 33rd year as a business association that started with 3 businesses back in the early 80s, that it is viable, it is worth something, it does work out. The networking aspect of it is unbelievable, and you people should be proud of what you're doing, and I'm honored to be here, and congratulations and good luck.
And now what I'd like to do is invite up Gary LaValle to take over the meeting and pass the baton here. Very much looking forward to Gary's leadership. He's got deep local roots, and I think that is exactly what this organization needs at this juncture, and thank you for your partnership.
Well, as Dan said, I'm Gary LaValle. Dan, don't go too far. When I took this position, I knew we had a lot of work ahead of us, but after listening to Mike, I didn't really realize how much work. But to do that type of work, you need a good foundation. Dan has set a foundation for us for the past 3 years, so he asked me to do this job. That's one of the only reasons I took it, is because I know it has a solid foundation, and I know that we can be bigger and better. Listening to Mike, we have avenues now, we have places to go and things to explore, which really helped me out as the incoming president. He offered his services to me, which really helped me out also. But Dan, good luck in your Jericho road project. I was going to get you a little plaque or something, but you did a great job for the Business Association. I'm comfortable coming in the position I am because of you. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to, you can't do this with a lot of support. A lot of this stuff, it's donated time. Everybody's got a business and everybody's got stuff to do. The time is precious for everybody. But, you know, we do put a lot of time into this, believe it or not. We're trying to get a little bit bigger. We want to get better. That's one of my goals as the president. I'd really like to double the size of this association by next year. But you can't do that with a lot of help. So, you know, Dan, as he mentioned, he's the past president. You know, the vice president, and if you guys can come up, I know Sarah's behind the, you know what, you guys just raise your hand. Sarah's behind the camera right there from Westford Cat. She's gonna be the vice president. Wendy Baker from Enterprise Bank. Is she here? Oh, hi, Wendy. And Mike Oth. Mike has been my savior. I wasn't going to let Mike go too far. He's one of the only one of the members that had stuck by my side quite a bit. You know, he reached out to me. Tom Courtney. We reached out to Tom earlier. He's going to be our secretary. Members at large. Bob Waskowitz. Waskowitz? I'm having issues with that, but I don't think he's here anyways. Sarah, you can delete that, right? Pam Huntley from Circle Health. Pam's been around for a while. She's a big supporter of us. Titus Palmer. I don't know. I didn't see Titus here at all. Patty Pichette. I don't think I saw Patty here either. Gulshan Kumar from. Oh, you are here, Gulshan. Amy, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Bignosh? She's not here either, so that's good. Steve Lyons from Juniper Networks. Steve's not here, but there was somebody from here from Juniper. Marcy. Marcy's here from Juniper. I met Marcy earlier, so she's taking Steve's place. Brian Alcorn? I don't think I saw Brian either. Patty Mason. I know Patty's here. She wouldn't leave me. Ray Moscala. Ray's been here. This is his first year. And Gerald Pioli. Oh, they're in the back. Holly Deneen from Bridges. Oh, hi, Holly. Paul Play. Hi, Paul. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see these guys in the back. I'm sorry. Cheryl Pop from Lowell 5.
And then the rest of us are.
And, well, Karen McCloskey, I didn't mention her earlier, but Karen's
Staying on the board.
Karen's staying on the board. She wasn't going anywhere either. She does all my proofreading for me and everything. And Cheryl, sir. Okay, thank you again. You guys have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for coming.